of his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, thanks to this wonderful webcast meeting which I am doing along with M3 India. So what my topic is today is choosing anti-diabetic medication, a case-based discussion. As we know, it's really very difficult for our patients. With the introduction of new drug classes, the choice of anti-diabetic agent has become really more complex because now you have number of medications which are there. Unfortunately, we don't have any direct and fair comparison. So, I mean, you don't have between one drug to another which is better. The clinician and patients are left to decide among agents with different safety and burden profiles. In this sea of uncertainty, interests other than those of patient actively shape choices. It is our expectation that better evidence, better policy and better decision will eventually become routine in the case of diabetic patients. So if you just see the diabetic pharmacotherapy, I am sure you must be seeing on your computer, the diabetes pharmacotherapy from 1950 when we were having only sulfonylurea followed by metformin, and then till 2000 or almost like 1995 we were not having many more oral anti-diabetic agents. Then we have sulfonylurea, we had DPP-4, then we have GLP-1 and recently we have SGLT2. But if you see in 2019, since last 7-8 years before when we had SGLT2, but a lot of outcome data had come for all these anti-diabetic molecules. Now let me talk to a case, and this is because this is very a scenario where we are using in our day-to-day clinical practice. A patient coming to you, a 40-year-old obese male software engineer who is newly detected diabetes. This is what a routinely a garden variety of type 2 diabetic patient what we see in our day-to-day clinic. He is a smoker. He rarely does exercise and has a difficulty in following a well-balanced diet because of his busy schedule. His fasting glucose is 200, his postprandial is 260, which is HbA1c of 8.6. His BMI is 31, his mildly elevated blood pressure and total cholesterol 180 with HDL of 60 and with triglyceride of 140. Now in management consideration of this patient, not only glycemic control which is very important, but we all know that other comorbidities are equally important like obesity control, the blood pressure control, the managing the complication and CV risk score. So which anti-diabetic medicine to choose and to achieve a good glycemic control? Now this is what we have to understand, and probably by this talk will give some of the answer. The global and Indian recommendation or all guidelines, if you see, this is very interesting paper which was published, and every year they do in diabetes care about the American Diabetic Association guideline. Each and every time when patient is sitting in front of you, there are few things which are to be seen. The risk of hypoglycemia or drug adverse effects. If they are very high, you may not achieve HbA1c very tight control, but the risk of hypoglycemia is low. You can have a very tight control of diabetes for these patients. If disease duration in newly diagnosed patients, you would like to achieve a good control or a tight control, while those patients who have long standing diabetes, you may have little less or HbA1c may be around 7.5 or even some patients 8 also be fine. The life expectancy of patient which is very important, and if somebody you are seeing a geriatric patient or a 75, you may not achieve a very tight glycemic control, while those patients who are young, you would like to have a tight glycemic control. Other comorbidities which are very important, if somebody is not having many comorbidities like CKD or cardiovascular disease which is very important, again the tight control may create more problem for these patients like hypoglycemia. If established vascular complication, again like a cardiovascular disease or a heart failure, because they compel which anti-diabetic agents is to be used for that patient. The patient attitude and expected treatment efforts. Now this is very important. Even American Diabetic Association had thought of, but I think this is very important from Indian patients' point of view also. Many of the patients, their attitude and their expected treatment efforts are different. So if patient is not highly motivated, you may not achieve a very tight glycemic control, because the possibility of getting hypoglycemia and more complications may be there because patient is not monitoring. And the last, which is again very important from Indian perspective, is resources and support system, which is how financially patient can afford afford, because if I want to write this patient a GLP-1 analog and patient is not affording, probably I may not write for this. So this is what American Diabetic Association. But if you see the RSSDI guideline, our own Indian guideline, which also talks about all 8 aspects which what American Diabetic Association is talking, but we made it much simpler because it is in ABCDEFGH approach. A for the age of the patient. If you have a younger the patient, tighter the glycemic control. B is the BMI. If you have a heavier the patient, you would like to achieve a tight glycemic control along with weight management. You have a C is for CKD or complications. So please look, whenever you are treating a patient, please go for serum creatinine or urine albumin creatinine ratio. What is the status of kidney? That is very, very important. D is the duration of diabetes. So if somebody is newly detected diabetes, probably any medication which we are going to give, the patient will achieve a good glycemic control, a tighter glycemic control. But as we know that 10, 15, 20 years of a diabetes, probably beta cell get fail, and that time you have few choices only to treat for this patient. The E is a established cardiovascular disease. So I mean, if somebody is having a cardiovascular disease, again, as we know with now lot of new anti-diabetic molecules which had come after 2008, whether they have cardiovascular outcome data, whether they are CV safe, or the benefit of these molecules in treating these patients. F is very, very important from Indian perspective. It is a finance, because patient has to pay from their pocket, and the finance is very, very important from Indian patient's point of view, because they have to take lifelong medicine, they have to pay from their pocket. So please talk when you are talking to the patients regarding the the social and financial status of the patient. The G is the glycemic status. If when higher the HbA1c, you would like to use a molecule which have a better glycemic reduction potency in compared to the molecule which have lesser potency. And the H is the risk of hypoglycemia. So this is what we have done in the same 8 parameters from E to H, where we are talking of glycemic status, the glycemic variability, we had thought of even the age of the patient, in BMI, all aspects are covered up. So you go with the disadvantage also. Please tell us how to choose the drugs with patient with non-alcoholic hepatitis with diabetes. Dr. Seema, if you had seen my last case where we had discussed with the patient with a liver disease, with the patients who was having NASH or NAFLD. At present, we had used the patient with the glitazone because the maximum number of papers were with the glitazone, but still the evidence is not so pakka that we can use it, that this should be the choice of therapy, and as there is an ADA and AS had not put that the choice of therapy with the patient with NAFLD, we should use glitazone, but in Indian situation, many of our patients we are using